going to tell you all about it. So I want to start by sharing my insurance story with you because I want to tell you what I learned in 25 years of this amazing profession. Do you agree that we are the best profession in the world? Yes or no? Yes. Excellent. I like your passion. You hear you're very passionate. I'm going to count on you. Okay? Perfect. So I started in this profession. By the way, I see some people coming. Do you want to see how curious are people? Take out your phones and tell them something very weird is happening in the room. Come here, and they will come to your friends, colleagues, or whatever. So I started in this profession back in 1999, so 25 years ago. I was 20 years old and I was studying to be a lawyer in the law university. So I was supposed to be a lawyer. I am coming from a very, very poor family, really poor family. My father was struggling to put food on the table when I was 17 and 18 years old, but, and I'm going to connect this message after, he sacrificed everything, even when he used the food, in order to give me the money to prepare myself to pass the exams, to go to the university, so I can have a better future. So I respect that to my parents. So I respect that. I studied very hard and I got into the University of Law. So everybody was very happy. 1 year after, I found in my way an amazing manager. And he explained to me how amazing is this profession, how we can save lives, how we can save corporations, how we can save assets. And I was amazed. And I said, let me try it. And I became a part-timer for 2 months. And after 2 months, when I understood what amazing profession we are in, I said, no, I'm going to do that as my lifetime profession. So I go back home, I say, Mom, Dad, you know, I'm not going to be a lawyer. I'm going to be an insurance professional. Quack, quack, quack. You understand how they reacted, right? They didn't like it. And this is something that I'm going to connect it later. Do you think that our profession deserves to have a better image? Yes or no? So this is something that we need to work all together. I didn't know anything about this profession. But either way, I was very stubborn and I stayed in this profession to make an amazing career. 6 months now in the profession, I had my first thing that discouraged me. So my own manager, my own leader, told me, you know, Panos, you are very shy. You're not going to make it to this profession. You know, you see me now, but at that point, I was very shy. If you look me in the eye, I will look down to my shoes. Okay? So he told me, better consider another option, do something else. Don't go over this profession, you're not going to make it. So of course I was devastated. I think I'm not going to make it. But I had a girlfriend at that point and said, I believe in you. I think you can make it. You are shy now, but you're not going to be shy forever. So you can overcome that. And it's important to have people in our lives that motivates us. And if we don't, we can motivate ourselves, but it's very important to have people in our lives. So I stayed in this profession, and I started slowly to make some production. I was becoming a professional, and I was doing well. But then another misfortune, had in my life. In the second year of my career, my father died suddenly from cancer. So I had two problems. The one, I was feeling so bad and guilty because still he didn't believe in my choice. He didn't think that I did a good choice because I didn't make so much money yet. I was new advisor. So he died with this complaint that I was feeling guilty because he sacrificed all his life for me to go into the university. But I had another problem. Also, we are a poor family, but we had some land in an island in Crete, if you know, in Greece, in Creta. So to make the long story short, this land has some value, so I had to pay inheritance tax. Only if my father had a small insurance, I wouldn't have any problem. But now I go to the tax authorities, and they tell me the best we can do is 12 installments, and if you don't pay the inheritance tax, we are going to take your home. And my knees were shaking because we would lose our only home. Can you understand that? You know how it feels, right? So I go back to my manager and I say, what should I do? What kind of production should I do in order to be able to pay the inheritance tax? And you know what he told me? It's impossible. That's what he told me. It's impossible. That's the first 6 months he told me that I cannot make it the profession. 2 years now he tells me it's impossible to make because it's very high production, to be honest. And I was again very afraid. And I had this amazing blessing, and I think it's amazing that you are MDRT members, and we need to be in the MDRT all the time, because I met an MDRT member, the first in Greece. He was 70 years old. And I make the same question to you. And I told him, do you think that any way I can make this production, to have these commissions, to pay this inherited tax, and not lose our house? He says, of course you can do it. Of course. You have to do 5 appointments a day. 5 appointments a day. I was doing 5 appointments a month at that point. Like, it was crazy for me. That's the one. So she thought, yeah, you're going to prospect, you're going to find ways, you're going to speak to people, you're going to have many leads, and blah, blah, blah. She motivated me. And I said again, I believe in you. I believe in you. Remember that word. You have to say that to yourself, or have somebody tell you. And I know that you have great leaders that are going to do that for you. So after that, I went out on this market, and I was trying hard, like from 6 o'clock in the morning to 1 o'clock in the night. And again, I couldn't do that, because I know we have the same problem. Mumbai and Athens, we have a traffic problem. Do you have traffic problem? Yes or no? You have, right? So if I needed to do 5 appointments a day, and I didn't even have a car at that point, with the bus it's impossible. So I tried to think out of the box, and I say, why I don't try to meet some people with Skype? How many of you do you remember that Skype was a new thing back in 2003? Do you remember that? So I say, I'm going to try to meet people with Skype. So again, I go to my manager, and I think, do you think that if I meet people with Skype, I can save time, and I can make the appointments I need? And again, what do you think he said? Who can remember? Impossible, right? No. He said, you cannot do that, because people, they need to meet them in person and do that, blah, 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 and create relationships, and this is true. But I tried that, I thought out of the box, and I managed to educate the consumers to make Skype meetings with me, and I'm sharing this story because this is the first lesson that I had, that nothing is impossible again, even with technology. You can find ways if you are willing to go all the distance. That was my second lesson. And from that point and after, I love technology also because it helped me achieve many things in my life. So after I did that, I worked hard for 2 years. I paid the inherited tax, like eventually. I saved my house, but I was exhausted. I lost 2 years of my life. I don't remember myself for 2 years. I lost my youth, my university years. So I lost everything at that point. So that's again, one of the promises that I made inside me, and I want you to do the same, is that we will never leave any other family go through what I went through. And some families, they cannot even survive. But I lost 2 years of my life, and it's not right. So this is the promise that I made myself. So after, when I finished this MDRT friend, bless him because he's dead now. He was 73 at the point, 93, he passed away some years ago. He invited me to his office. And he said, Panos, I see how hard you worked. You managed to hit an incredible goal, and I'm proud of you, I believe you, but now you have to go to the next level. And I say, what kind of next level? And I was very proud of what I did. I'm doing well. Now I'm making money. I pay the inherited tax. I have a lot of clients. People ask for me, what do you mean, do better? What is better? And I was reassured that this is the thing that I can do. I thought that this is my limit. And sometimes this happens to all of us. We think we're having a good work, we're having a good income, we set everything, and that's okay. But then he told me, I want you to think of your life like a theatrical act. If you were the first actor, would you compromise with the life that's like go to work, go back home, see a little TV, and then die? Would you compromise with a life like that? And I say, no, I don't like that. So I want you to do one thing, and I'm going to ask you to do the same thing if you haven't done that so far. He asked me, I want you to share with me your most crazy goal. A goal that makes your knees tremble. A goal that you are afraid that you cannot ever achieve. And I had something in my mind already before he asked me, because the question is, you know this question. This question is, what would you dream if you know that you cannot fail? You know this question, right? So your mind is liberated to think great things. So I did that and I said, okay, it's easy. I want to be the best advisor, the top advisor in my company. And he says, come on man, this is not a crazy goal, like this is easy, in 2 or 3 years you're going to have it. I want a crazy goal. And I said, okay, let me think 5 minutes. Okay, I think I can be the best advisor in the whole country. Like in Greece, I'm going to be the best advisor in the whole country. And again, he was pissed. He says, come on, this is not a crazy goal. I want something more crazy. Something that you think that there is no way that you can achieve it. I say, okay, stop. I need 2 days. I cannot think of anything right now. He says, okay, go home and we meet again Monday. It was Friday. I remember this Friday for the whole of my life. So I go back Monday and I say, listen, I found what I want. You're not going to believe it, but I found it. I love this profession so much already that I want to change the image of our profession to all over the world. He was looking me at a little bit strange, like at that point. I want to invent something that will re-engineer and rebrand the way we consult people. I want to speak about this idea to all over the world, and I want to be able to live and work wherever I want in the world. And it was 2003, I remind you. No internet, no social media, no nothing. Because now, if you think of something like that, it's easier to say through social media I will become well known, I will do that. But at that point, it seems impossible. Okay, impossible, sorry. So he looks at me, a little bit scared himself. He says, you know, Panos, you excite me. I didn't expect that from you. I was expecting something a little less frightening. I don't know how you're going to do it, but keep that in mind, and probably a way it will show itself. Because for now, I don't know how to guide you to do that, like in general. And I say, okay, I'm going to stick to that. Now, to make the long story short, I started to be a best advisor. I became the best in my company. I became the best in the country. I became the president of the Association of Insurance Advisors in Greece. And then I became an MDRT member, guys. And this was the turning point of my life. And I know that you are MDRT members, and you have to take advantage of it 100%. So when I went to my first MDRT conference, I go there, and I see all these successful people like you. Successful people, eager, hungry, and whatever. And I have this buzz. I don't know how many you have been in an MDRT conference. How many you have been in an MDRT conference by hand? Can you raise your hand if you have been in an MDRT conference? No? One only? I know that you are more of you. But at least you are having gatherings like that. Again, here you are the best of the best. And you need to take advantage of that. Don't just see Budapest. I know Budapest is an amazing city. But speak to each other, exchange ideas, exchange strategy, support each other, motivate each other in order to be the best version of yourself. So I went to the first MDRT conference, and I have this badge that was first here. I don't know if you know, it's like green. So when I was walking, I was seeing somebody that says, court of the table. And I asked somebody, what is court of the table? And he tells you, know, there is members, and there are some people that they did 3 times what a member does. And I said, what? I was trying to make 1 membership. Like, do you say that some people they are doing 3 times that? How? He said, of course they are, whatever. So I was blown away. I went to meet them to ask them how they do that. And then I see some other guys that they have another badge that was saying top of the table. And I say, come on, what's that? Like, what's top of the table? So top of the table, my friend Panos, is something that you do 6 times the membership of MDRT. And I say, what? This is not possible. Come on, you're making fun of me. Like, I'm new now and you're liking me, right? He said, no, there are people that they're doing 6 times. Again, to make a long story short, I sit down with these people and I spoke with them. And I said, how do you do that? How do you visualize? How do you find clients? How do you convince them to close and everything? And they start telling me secrets. And almost, I didn't see any of the speeches. I was sitting down with top of the tables to learn and to teach me how I can do that. Eventually, 2 things happen. The first, when I see that, and this is the reason that I'm sharing my story today, when I see that it's possible, I start believing that I can do that. Because I said, if they can do that, why I cannot do that? Is this right? If they can do that, what I'm less smart, less ambitious, less no. I'm a great guy, I'm dedicated, I'm hardworking, I'm gonna make it. And the other thing is, they shared with me great ideas. They taught me how to go to high net worth clients, how to go to better markets, how to target better, how to be passionate in front of the client. I was having an amazing discussion together with your sales director, if I say correctly the title, Mr. Amit, and he was telling me that you can see 10 clients a day and close 1. If you grow your passion, the way that you speak to clients, you can go to 2 and you can go to 3, and with the same appointments, you can make more production. Do you believe that? Yes or no? Perfect. So I started trying. In the first year, after this meeting, I became COT. And after that, I am very proud to tell you that I became TOT, and from that point and on, I'm TOT all my years. So now I know that it can be done, okay? That was the first step. Then I told you about this crazy dream that I had that I shared with my MDRT friend. So, 2015, I founded my own insurtech startup, and I will tell you something about the great research that we have done. I founded my own insurtech startup because I wanted to find better ways, as I told you, to consult people. So what we did is two things. We leveraged the risk management science, because what we are doing, my friends, my family, because we are family in this insurance business, we are leveraging risk management, because that's what we do. We are managing risk. We are managing uncertainty for the people. That's what we do, that's our profession. The second thing that I'm going to share with you is neuroscience research and behavioral economics in very simple ways. Do you believe that if we understand how the human brain works around insurance and risk, we can educate the consumer better and close more deals, yes or no? Perfect. And the third was technology, but this is not the case today. So I founded this startup, we made research, I dedicated my life to that, and now, 2021, I moved to New York, and now I'm living in Miami, Florida. I was a small guy from Greece. I speak to more than 40 countries around the world. I have 11 innovation awards from universities like MIT for our profession and our research, and all this became a reality. So now I know that after 25 years, what seemed impossible became already possible. And I'm not stopping here now. I want to do more. So, yeah, somebody try to... So, guys, I want to make an agreement with you today. I'm not sharing my example because I want to brag. I want to brag a little bit, yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm proud of myself. Everybody should be proud of themselves, right? I don't want to be modest if I don't need to be, right? We need to be proud of ourselves. Because I'm telling you, being TOT, let's say the TOT and the other things, it's not only a title. When I wake up in the morning, I'm TOT. I shine with that. I believe in myself. I have self-confidence. So people can understand that. You know that? We sell more when we have self-confidence. When we feel right about ourselves. But also I have three lessons. The one is, again, I told you already. I want us to commit, and I know that you are doing that already. Not leave any family without life insurance. Can we commit on that, yes or no? Yes. Perfect, that's the one. The second is, let's represent our profession in a way that everybody will think that our profession is the most important profession in this world, because it is. Because even doctors or lawyers come after us, right? Because first you need to survive financially, okay, you have to work, and then you need to ensure that you're going to have income forever. So if you don't have income, you don't can pay neither the doctor or the lawyer. So we're the first in the Maslow pyramid, if you know, of hierarchy. The second step, we ensure that people can live forever. So are we or are we not the best profession in the world? Yes or no? You have to believe that. You have to pass that to the client. And the third lesson that I want to share with you by my story, and I'm not a motivational speaker speaking about theories that everything can be done. I have done that myself, and I can prove that. That after 25 years of like a difficult road, of I wanted to quit, I've had hardships that you cannot even imagine. In 2010, my insurance company defaulted. I lost all my clients. In 2012, Greece defaulted. In 2015, we have another kind of problems, like all this, so the road was not easy. But I made it, because I had passion. I had like commitment. I had like this vision that wakes me up in the morning, and it's not about money anymore. Because after a point, I know many of you, or all of you, you don't care about the money because you have your life. But you need something to wake up in the morning and create fulfillment in your life, right? To create a sense of purpose. To see, I'm here and I'm not just living to live, I'm living for something. And this creates quality of life. Do you agree with me? So my friends, the third lesson is that if somebody or yourself tells you that you cannot do it, they are showing you their limits, not yours. Don't believe them and dream big. Are you with me or not? I want to make a noise if you are committed for a big dream. Yes or no? Yes. A little bit louder. I want you to believe that. Come on. Come on, come on, come on, I want to hear you. If you are not willing to make some noise now, you will never make a commitment to huge goals. So let me hear you now again. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's it. Now we're speaking. This is commitment. If you're not committed to be uncomfortable for 1 second, you will not be uncomfortable for the rest of your life. And that's need to be okay. So perfect. That was the story so far. 25 years in this amazing profession, and I don't regret one day. That's so amazing. We are saving lives. We have people like, look at us as the saviors. I don't know how many of you have you given a claim, a life claim? Somebody died and you give a claim with hands. How many? Is this a magic moment, yes or no? I know that's a sad moment. I know that's a sad moment for people. But when you go there, and sometimes the wives or the husbands, they don't even know that there is life insurance, and they see that check, it's not only the money, it releases of all the stress. Because imagine that you have a family of a 40-year-old man and a 40-year-old woman, and the man is dying. Imagine, I know from my mother, my father died 58 years old, and she was 3 years depressed, and he was 58, he was not 40. And we're grown-ups, maybe we could find some solutions. What if we were 4 or 5 years old? How should we survive? With this depression and try to make income? It's not possible, okay? So let me ask you something now, because I want to collaborate with you. How many of you do you have children? With hands, please. Perfect, okay. Are you sacrificing everything for your children, yes or no? Every day. You're working from day to night. If they want something, you put them first, okay? That's what every parent is doing. Like, that's their work. Like, it comes naturally. You don't even have to try. You love your children, either you want it or not. And then you go to a parent, and you say, you know, if you die, your family, your children cannot survive. And what he says, I'm not interested. How can this happen? How? I'm not going to say the word. I stopped you. You see that? Like, but this is how I feel. If this can happen, like, it doesn't make sense. And that was my turning point in 2010. I had a friend studying neuroscience, and I said, please, I'm going to get crazy. You have to explain to me why this can happen. How somebody can sacrifice his life for his children, and then you tell me that if something happens, he doesn't care, he's not interested, he doesn't trust insurance, like what? And we sit down and we made 9 years of research. Part of this research is the cause that we did all these awards from MIT and everything. So let me tell you something. This is the Global Innovation Award that we have already from MIT, as I told you, top 25 CEOs of 2020 globally. How could I imagine that when I was 23 years old that I can be among the 25 best CEOs in the world in insurtech? Everything is possible, my friends, really. I'm so excited, I want to pass this excitement with you. Everything is possible. If you haven't done this part, you can do that, okay? So let me tell you about the brain. Now, some people say I'm not interested about insurance, and the brain is to blame. I'm going to explain to you how the brain is working, and why people are saying I'm not interested in insurance. Are you interested to know about that? Yes or no? Because if you understand, then you will know how to handle them, then you will know how to make them take the right decision around this matter. Only then. So let me go on that. So the first thing that makes people stop is something that we all know. It's called confirmation bias, and it is because our profession doesn't have the best image, and we are responsible partially for that. They say, okay, I don't trust advisors, they're not very useful, we didn't educate them in a way that they can understand. So if you don't feel good about something, you're not eager to hear about life insurance. If somebody told you that it's not right, it's not needed or whatever, you can understand that. This is a simple, it's not neuroscience, it's common sense. But let's go to the second one, called the optimistic bias. What is the optimistic bias? Our brain, as humans, is designed to make us survive, not to be happy. One point. To make us survive, one of the functions that it tries to make us every day is to try to make us avoid pain. So we try to avoid pain and gain pleasure, right? You can understand that. One of the pain points in the life of the person is fear. So what the brain does is very bad for us. We should not trust our brains, and I want you to share that with your clients. Because Their heart wants to buy insurance, but their brain is stupid. Because in order to avoid fear and to avoid pain, it makes us to believe that nothing can happen to us. Have you ever speak to a client that says, you might die? No, it's not going to happen to me. Have you ever heard of that from a client? He's not stupid. His brain tries to protect him from pain. So if he doesn't believe that the risk is there, doesn't care about the solution. And if the solution is not so great like as an image, he doesn't care even more. So this is one of the things that you need to have in mind, that people, the biggest problem that they have is that they don't believe that something bad will happen. Because if they did, they would be out of your office lines by lines to wait for them to insure you. I can guarantee that for you. So what we can do for them is coming on the third pillar, the fear tolerance brain limit. Let's say now that we speak logically with a person and he understands that he can have a risk of dying, disability, pension, education of the children, or whatever. Okay? So what happens now? We as advisors, we are trained, and we are okay trained, I'm going to tell you, to sell with fear, right? You have to go and make the difficult questions. You say, what happens if you die tomorrow? I had a friend, like, I think he's from India also, that he says, I'm going to the client, and I say, what happens if you die? And I do that, like if somebody hits you or whatever, in order to scare him more. And you know, this works for some people, only for 20% of the global population. Because they can use fear to make buying decisions. They have resistance to fear. But 80% of the people out there, they have another problem. When you put too much fear in their head, they freeze, their brain freezes. Have you ever seen an animal in front of your tow lights in your car, that like a rabbit or a deer comes in front and it freezes in front of your car? Have you ever seen that or heard that story? It happens. Like if a deer comes in front of your lights of your car, it freezes in front of your car out of fear. So that's happened with the brain of the client. When we put too much fear in his head, at some point he freezes. And he's not like the animals that he doesn't move, so we can see that, we cannot understand that. But what happens is, either he stops listening to us, he doesn't listen anymore. You speak, but he doesn't listen. Or he listens what you say, but when it's time for the buying decision, he's so afraid that he doesn't have energy that he says, let me think about it, because he doesn't want to decide at that point. And he says, let me think about it, and he believes them. He doesn't say bullshit, like he believes them. But he's so afraid that he cannot make the decision now. Now what happens when you leave? He remembers what you said as something frightening, so he doesn't want to remember that again. So he doesn't want to think about it. And unfortunately, he doesn't want to meet us again. Because we are scary advisors also. So he doesn't want to meet a scary advisor. So when you call the other time, what does he do? He doesn't even pick up the phone because he doesn't want to listen, he doesn't want to say no. So I'm not saying not to use fear as you consult people. I'm saying put it in a moderate way. And there is another way. Instead of saying somebody, if you die you cannot survive, you can go the other way, the positive way. That if you have life insurance, your family can survive. Can you understand the difference? The one is a negative message. If you die you cannot survive. And the other is a positive message. If you have life insurance, in any case your family can continue living as you are giving them the possibility now. So try not to use too much fear. Number 4, I want you to change the way that you are making arguments to clients, and especially the young generations. It's called the instant gratification mindset. I want you to all breathe frank with me. And sometimes you say, I want to lose weight. How many of you thought of your life sometimes to lose weight with hands? You did, right? Yeah, perfect. So, but some point you say, I want to lose weight, but you have like a pizza or some other delicacy from, what do you eat in India, like for us a delicacy? What's something like pizza? Biryani, yes, that's it. So you eat biryani. So you say, okay, I want the pleasure now, and not have the pleasure of losing weight or have a beach body in the future, right? So that's how the brain works. He prefers the instant gratification now, rather than in the future. So imagine if we do that with something so important as our health. We are neglecting our health in order to have the pleasure now. Do you think that it's easy to say to somebody that maybe in some years, if they die, and they don't believe that they're going to die, you need to do something and do it now. Do you think it's make them urge to do it now? No, right? Because they don't believe that it's going to die, and they don't believe that it's urgent. So we say, let's do it later, as you do with your nutrition. So we need to change something drastic in our profession, and please pay attention to that, especially the young generation. We need to make them happy today by insurance, not in the future claim. Because what we tell people is this: if you die, I'm going to save your family. If you become disabled, I will give you money to survive. If you don't have money to have a proper retirement, I will give you a pension plan so you will have. All that are in the future, and they may happen or may not. But if somebody buys a car today, and the car is coming here, and he sees the car, is he going to be happy? Yes or no? He's going to be happy, right? If he buys a house, and he gets to the house, and he has the contracts to say, this house is yours, is he going to be happy or not? So this is what we need to make people feel with insurance. Be happy today. Let them see the policy, and they understand that here they put $1,000, I don't know in your currency exactly, and here it is $1 million. This is a huge asset. And insurance, just if you want to write that down, is the most clever invention human ever invented for financial protection. And this is something that, by my experience in the global market, we don't explain to the clients in the right way. We are always putting the benefit in the future, so they don't understand. Put the benefit today. You are paying this money, and you have an asset of 1 million. And then I'm going to tell you what kind of feelings you can have with that. Because you have this huge asset, and if anything happens, now you are feeling self-esteem, that you did the best for your family. Now you see your policies, and you don't see a policy. You don't see like a bill. You see the future of your family side up. So be happy now. Be proud now. Go and share this with your family. And I'm going to show you some examples how you can use the Maslow hierarchy needs in order to create more arguments to make people feel happy buying insurance today. Not only if the claim comes. If the claim comes, it's the ultimate moment of insurance. We know that. They will understand, their friends will understand, everybody will understand. But before, they don't understand, so we need to make them understand. And I will give you an example that I did with a lawyer. And some other thing that the 5 and the 6 are not so important is when you transfer the information. I know that you have already your system of pitching the clients, and that's amazing. So you give them the information in a way that the brain can understand it. And all that is we need to beat something that the brain calls homeostasis. What do we mean by that? The brain doesn't like change. So from non-being insured to being insured is a huge like change for the brain. So if let's check that now. If I don't believe so much in insurance, I don't believe that I'm going to die. You put too much fear, so I freeze. And you don't give me some reason to be happy now, can I change the mind of the client? Easy, no, right? But if you do the opposite side and you don't make so much fear, you don't give him benefits now, then he can be convinced, and not only convinced. We don't need only clients, paying clients. We need fun of insurance. People that they are fun, they're going to go and tell other people, and they're going to keep, there will come retention and everything. So let's go next to see something. Here, we have the first thing that I told you. You have clients. What I say to my clients, just to understand, because people keep that in mind. People know, but they don't realize. You have to understand that. People might know that they are working all day and sacrifice everything for their children, but they don't realize it. They are doing that as part of the normal life. They are not conscious of what they are doing every day. They just do it. So somebody like us, we need to bring consciousness of that. So what I'm saying to my clients is this. I have two pitches that I'm using with the clients. The one is, can I ask you something? Do you work like 8 hours a day? And I know that most of the employees are working 8 hours a day. He says, yes, of course. You say, do you realize that you are exchanging 1/3 of your life with work? Like 8 out of 24 hours, you are exchanging your life with work. You are giving part of your life to work. Let me please ask you why you do that. And what is he going to say? He's going to say, because I want to survive financially, I want to create my dream lifestyle. That's the answer that we're getting, okay? So now he realizes, Now I say, is this the most important thing of your life? Yes or no? After surviving physically, you need to survive financially. Is this the most important thing of your life? This is, of course, the most important thing of your life. Perfect. So let me ask you something else now. In your common sense, I want you to use your common sense. Can you imagine of anything that can stop you producing this income? Because what I told you is that you are working 8 hours a day, meaning that you are having the blessing every time to wake up in the morning and go to produce this income, right? Yeah. So, can you think of any reasons that can stop you from producing this income? He said, yes, of course. Like what? He says, like if I have an accident, or if I am ill, or if I die, or if I lose my work. So now, do you know what I did here? Two things. The one is I brought consciousness to what he's doing, to understand that it's very important. And the second is, I didn't try to scare him with my difficult questions. If you die, if you become disabled, I let him say the things that can happen. When I admit it myself, it's easier for me to admit the truth. When I try to push the truth, then it's difficult. Do you understand that? So go that. In my country, I don't know if you know Socrates. Socrates was an ancient philosopher. He was having the rhetoric science created, and he said the Socratic way of making questions. So I don't want to push the message, I want the message to come up through questions. So this is the first thing. So then when he admits that, yeah, something has happened, I say to him, okay, listen, I am a risk manager. What I can do for you is this. For the most important thing of your life, that you are exchanging the 1/3 of your life, I can find together with you all the risks that you might have, just to control them. Because I don't want to leave this appointment, something happens, and you say, if I knew that it might happen, I might have done something. No, you're going to know them, just control them. The second, we are going to find priorities, what priorities you have to cover first, because we have a lot of risk. And the third is, I'm going to decide with you what is your budget and how much of them we can cover and have a serious discussion. And my question to the client is, Mr. Client, do you want to have a serious discussion around that? Yes or no? If he says yes, I'm going to stick to them. And most of them, after this speech, they're saying yes, because they realize what I told them, right? So this is when I have the power to influence them, because now they understand. That's my first pitch. The second pitch is the one that I told you before, just for us to believe. Because let me tell you something now that I was supposed to tell you later. Sometimes we are trained what to say. Let's say the pitch. It might be this idea, it might be another idea, whatever. The other problem is how we say something. Do we say that with enthusiasm? Do we say with passion? Do we deliver the message? Do you think that's important, yes or no? So how? And there is something that not many people teach. It's how you feel when you say it. Do you really believe it? 100%. And something that I want to advise you that I do every day, it helped me in my career so much, is when I wake up in the morning, I remind myself of my mission every morning. That I have to go out there to meet some people that they don't have the conscience, to try to educate them. I'm going to have some objections, and I'm going to love them, love their objections, be patient, and then I will try to educate them to make the right decision about this critical matter. Do you like this way of thinking? Can you please do it every morning before you go to the office? And love the clients. Go with a mission. Don't just go to the office to make some production because you know the way. I think that this might change how happy you are when you're doing that and how you can influence the clients. Do you believe of that? Do you find it logical? Perfect. Another thing that I'm saying to the clients is this, and I make a story because storytelling is a nice way to make them understand. So do you have children? Because I like our interaction. You have children, right? So let's say you have a boy and girl, what? Girl, one girl. Okay, let's make a story together. So you are like in your house or your country house, and your girl is with your bicycle. I don't know, does she do bicycle? So at some point she has a small accident, something just fell off, and you know she scratched her leg, and you go to help her, and you take her hug and comfort her, like make her feel better. And fine. So at some point, says, Dad, are you going to be here forever? Because she's scared now. What are you going to say? Are you going to be sure, right? 100%, I'm going to be here for you. And if I come now as an advisor and tell you, you know, is this 100% sure what you're saying? Is it true? It's 100% true. It is true, right? Let me tell you something that's not like very, very nice to say, but it's not 100% true. Because if something happens and life has other plans, how you're going to be there? How you're going to support the mother if life has other plans, either like a death or a disability. But if there is a way to make it 100% true, would you like to know it? If there is a way to make it 100% true, would you like to know it? Because my friends, only with life and disability insurance, we can make this promise true 100%. Because if you are not there, I know the money cannot replace you, but they can replace the feeling of my father cared about me. Because I had this opposite feeling. And I loved my father. But I lost 2 years of my life, even if he had a small life insurance. And I remember the insurance advisor coming to our house, and he says, no, I'm not interested. I remember that. I was a small child. If I had only that, I wouldn't lose 2 years of my life. Some other families, they cannot survive, not even lose 2 years. So this is how I make them understand that this is important. And then I'm telling them, when you have the policy, make a gathering, a family, say family, I try to make the best out of there. I love you, I'm going to be here for you, but also I have this insurance that if anything happens to me, I'm going to still be here for you. So this can make what we saw, the love and belonging in the hierarchy, make them love. The other is self-esteem. I'm trying to convince my client that he took the best decision. You need to be proud of yourself. You are a member of the most perfect community of people that are helping each other. That's why insurance is. And I explained to him what is insurance, how all together we are paying some money, and then the ones that need the money, they take the money. So believe on them, make him self-esteem. And even you're going to be more calm to pursue your goals. So create some happiness today, okay, for them to be happy. This is what I told you. Then you can have this if you want to. I will send you the thing is. This is a presentation of a rhetoric science in Greece that we say, this is the products, this is the benefits, but this is not the most important things. The most important is how they make me feel. They make me feel that I have a choice because